Moving too bossy, we don't tread softly.
Welcome to In the Zone.
Moving too bossy,
It's been a couple of weeks. At least.
The streets
I've had some setbacks, physical setbacks, fractured rib,
man, I swear my time is coming, cause I'm never late.
recovering. Much better than I was when it initially happened. Of course, you should always be doing better than what you were when it initially happened. But it's been a long 2 weeks. Recovery mode, time off work. Just now getting back on the wheel, doing Uber until I can go back to work. But here we are in the zone on a hot, scorching Friday afternoon. Well, it's almost afternoon. It's already getting hot. I know it's near 90 already. But bringing you some good content. A lot has been going on. We're still dealing with the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reece controversy. So we're going to go ahead and get started on that because a former Dallas Cowboy legend admit who's to blame for the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reece controversy. Of course, viewership towards the WNBA due to two standout players, Caitlin Clark from the Indiana Fever and Angel Reece from the Chicago Sky. These two athletes have been making waves in the league due to the high level of attention they received during their college careers playing for Iowa Hawkeyes and the LSU Tigers, respectively. Ever since both Clark and Reece were drafted into the WNBA in 2024, there has been a lot of buzz surrounding them. Media outlets, fans, and even veteran players in the league have been discussing them at length. Unfortunately, some people have used their names in reference to controversial topics, which has been very unfair to Clark and Reece. In a recent interview, Clark said it is disappointing that her name is being used to push these controversial agendas. On Thursday, NFL and Dallas Cowboys legend Dez Bryant voiced his concerns about this issue with Clark and Reece on social media, blaming the media in the process. I'm glad she feels this way. I feel sorry for Caitlin Clark and Angel Reece. Like I said before, I blame it on the media, Bryant said. She didn't ask for all the nonsense. I'm pretty sure she wanted to play the game she grew up loving without all the BS. Some of the media strategies be so obvious. Clark and Reece will face off in the WNBA for the second time on Sunday, June 16th. Clark won the first matchup a few weeks ago, and Reece will look to return the favor. My thing is, what role will the Kennedy girl play? You remember the one that delivered the forearm shiver that sent Caitlin Clark sprawling to the floor? I wonder what role will she play? Because now, as we know too, yes, a lot has been said about Caitlin Clark taking a lot of physical abuse. But nobody's talking about the abuse that Angel Reece has been taking. I seen a video clip where she got pulled down from behind, darn near clothesline, as the guy said in the video, like the Ultimate Warrior. Come on now, if you're going to talk about one, you have to talk about the other. But that is not all, though. There is more, because LSU coach, y'all know who the LSU coach is, Kim Mulkey, calls out Angel Reece for lying about LSU practices, which is sparking NCAA violations rumors. Chicago Sky forward and former LSU Tiger Angel Reece went viral on Wednesday when she claimed LSU practiced for 4 hours a day during her time there. She says, I think my transition has been great, Reece said. It has been a super big, huge surprise because Kim Mulkey kind of prepared me for this moment. At LSU, our practices were like 4 hours, Reece continued. We were ready. We were working. I thought WNBA training camp was going to be harder, considering there are strict limitations on how much an NCAA team can practice in a given week. Those comments sparked a number of questions. So much so that current LSU assistant coach Gary Reedus had to call Reece out on X after the interview saying, we don't practice 4 hours every day, but you leave LSU prepared. There are some more comments here. It says, this prompted a reply from Reece on X, which said, not everybody, but September to November used to have me dead. But look at me now. I guess it was all worth it. Sounds like both Reece and her coach want to make clear that no NCAA violations occurred while Reece was a Tiger. Wow. Anyway, keeping this first segment rolling on. Caitlin Clark slammed by WNBA star Dejanay Carrington for silence on fan behavior. Connecticut Sun guard Dejanay Carrington, I hope I pronounced that name right, issued the strongest message to date from a WNBA player toward Indiana Fever rookie Caitlin Clark's nonchalant response to the behavior of some of her fans. Earlier this week, Carrington received abuse from some online commentators after she mocked Clark during the game. But when a reporter asked Clark on Thursday about people using her name in culture wars, such as the one involving Carrington, she dismissed the issue as not something I can control. Dog, wrote Carrington in response on social media. How one cannot be bothered by their name being used to justify racism, bigotry, misogyny, xenophobia, homophobia, and the intersectionalities of them all is nuts. We all have a platform. We all have a voice. And they all hold weight. Silence is a luxury. Clark had told reporters on Thursday, I don't put too much time or thought into things like that. And to be honest, I don't see a lot of it. Like I've said, basketball is my job. Like everything on the outside, I can't control that. So I'm not going to spend my time thinking about that. People can talk about what they want to talk about, create conversations about whatever it is. But I think for myself, I'm just here to play basketball. Clark continued with a similar train of thought when pressed about whether others in the WNBA might feel she should use her platform to speak out against hate, with some social media influencers and publications accused of using her image to pursue an agenda against black athletes. Wow. Carrington, Kennedy Carter, and Angel Reece are among the black players in the WNBA who have felt targeted after on-court incidents with the former Iowa College basketball standout. I think everyone in the league understands that while we're excited about the attention we're getting, we're appreciative of it. I think the league has been great for a really long time, but my focus is on my teammates. They've been amazing, Clark said. Earlier this year, Las Vegas Aces forward Angel Wilson, who is black, didn't mention Clark directly, but said that there is generally a divide in how players of different races are treated. It doesn't matter what we all do as black women, we're still going to be swept underneath the rug, Wilson told the AP. That's why it boils my blood when people say it's not about race, because it is. Asked about Wilson's comments last month, though, Clark argued there's opportunities for every single player in women's basketball. The Fever faced the Atlanta Dream on Thursday night, which was last night, and Clark would try to get back on track on the court. Carrington and the Sun held her to just 10 points in a blowout loss. So, what is your take? Is it or isn't it about race? Seems like that is a card that is being thrown up here lately and on a regular basis in the WNBA, when it should be more about what's on the court, not the social issues. But look like it's becoming more about the social issues more than it is about being about the play on the court. Nobody would have known that Caitlin Clark was held to 10 points. If you don't hear it right here on this podcast, or you are one that follows the WNBA and keep a check on stats, seems like we're hearing more about racial issues and divides within the WNBA when we should be hearing more about unity and the product on the court. So what is it? Is it or isn't it about race? I'd be more than happy to know what your comments are regarding the situation in the WNBA, mainly centered around Caitlin Clark, and should she use her platform to silence the hate? As if that isn't enough, and we're going to go to a break after this, Caitlin Clark pleads for Aaliyah Boston and Indiana Fever teammates to trust her. You know, as much, before I get to this story, as much as I'm thinking, why should a player have to plead for her teammates to trust her? And as much as even Magic Johnson said the WNBA ought to, embrace Caitlin Clark and Angel Reece as Bird and Magic, I don't even recall Bird pleading for his teammates to trust him. If anyone has remembered Bird doing that, will someone please tell me, when did that happen? And how did it happen? Bird came in, messed with his teammates, and was the focal point of the Boston Celtics' success. But we're going to get to this story because it is one of interest, and I really want to dive into this. So Caitlin Clark pleads for Aaliyah Boston and Indiana Fever teammates to trust her after 10th loss. There has been a lot of speculation about why the Indiana Fever have struggled out of the gate during this 2024 WNBA regular season. What's clear is that the Fever are 3-10 on the season and can't seem to find any consistency on either end of the court. While they've managed to string together some solid offensive possessions, they've been unable to play 40 minutes of good defense in any game so far. Much of what makes a good defensive team is having trust in one another. And Fever rookie Caitlin Clark references during a recent interview. I have so much to focus on here, Clark told reporters after a Thursday practice. You know, getting my teammates to trust me and do all that is my main focus. Same with our coaching staff and same with this organization. Matter of fact, if possible, try to see if I can pull up some audio. Just bear with me. And here we go.
It seems no matter what you do or what is done to you, it becomes a topic nationally. And a lot of times it becomes divisive. I wonder from your standpoint how you feel about people using your name in whatever culture wars or whatever wars they're fighting. How do you feel about that?
It's not something I can control, so, I don't put too much thought and time into thinking about things like that. And to be honest, I don't see a lot of it. Like I've said, basketball's my job. Everything on the outside, I can't control that, so I'm not going to spend time thinking about that. People can talk about what they want to talk about, create conversations about, whatever it is, but I think for myself, I'm just here to play basketball. I'm here to have fun. I'm trying to help our team win. Obviously, we've won 3 games, and, we feel like we've been in a position to win a few more than that, and, my focus is on helping us do that, but I don't, pay much mind to all of that, to be honest.
How much do you think that it's impacted your ability to cultivate relationships within the league?
I think everybody in the league understands, one, we're excited about all this attention we're getting. I think we're appreciative of it. I think the league has been great for a really long time, but, my focus is on my teammates. They've been amazing. I don't think it's impacted me making relationships on my team. I'm not obviously talking to people on other teams on a daily basis. I have so much to focus on here, and, getting my teammates to trust me and do all that is my main focus. Same with our coaching staff, and same with this organization. Yeah.
But I understand your focus, but I'm just curious, though, are you bothered that folks would attempt to weaponize your name in whatever fight they're fighting?
No, I don't see it. That's not where my focus is. My focus is here and on basketball, and that's where it needs to be, and that's where it has been, and I'm just trying to get better on a daily basis.
Seems no matter what you do.
So those are the words of Caitlin Clark when interviewed, and you heard her talking about, the trust issue, the fact that she could have a platform and she could squash a lot. Now, granted, right, she cannot control what people say, what people think, but at least she can speak up and speak out against it. Hey, look, I don't appreciate y'all using my name like this. But back to the article at hand. Before we went to that sound clip, clearly gaining her teammates' trust is a major priority for Clark. And that could end up being the secret to Indiana's success as the season progresses. However, Aaliyah Boston admits that she's in Caitlin Clark's pocket after 10th WNBA loss. How be that? Well, I'll tell you how we're going to know about that. We're going to first, though, take this break. And we'll come back into why Aaliyah Boston admits that she's in Caitlin Clark's pocket after 10th WNBA loss. All that coming up more on In the Zone with yours truly, Anthony Smith. Welcome back to In the Zone. This is yours truly. And while we're talking sports and like we're talking a lot of WNBA, what's happening, we're going to get to some other things. I want to remind you that I've done this on my other platform. I may as well do it here. June 29th and June 30th, there will be the I-35 Girls Basketball Showcase taking place. You will see teams like Mocan Elite, Team Griffin. You will see some other teams, some names you'll probably hear. Michaela Askew, Destiny Mays, so many more. Names I don't even have their names right here before me, but I know there's going to be some players. Micaiah Moore, I do believe, playing for Team Griffin out of Oklahoma City. I mean, there's going to be a lot of talented young ladies playing in this tournament. It's a showcase event. It's an event that you will not want to miss. So mark that on your calendar. I hope to have the venue where these games will be played. I have an idea where I think it might be played at, but I want to make sure I get the right information before I put it out there. But that is the I-35 Showcase Girls Basketball. It's a national exposure event, so you want to go check it out. I'm looking forward to being there, checking out some of this talent. I'm pretty sure there will be coaches there looking at future talent, giving scholarship offers. I'm telling y'all, believe it or not, I believe Kansas is beginning to be a hotbed where college recruiters will want to come and pick up some of these young ladies. Matter of fact, Butler County Community College, listen to me, talking about Butler County, I know for a fact that they signed 5 young ladies from Wichita and the surrounding area. 2 of them from Wichita Heights, 2 of them from Derby High School, 1 from Mays South. And these aren't just girls that's just filling out a roster. These are some young ladies that play some prominent roles on their team, garnered some postseason awards. So Butler County look like they could be making a splash towards being the one that knocked the Hutch Community College Lady Blue Dragons off their throne. The trash talking has already begun. Anyway, as we were leaving out that last segment, we mentioned that Aaliyah Boston admits that she's in Caitlin Clark's pocket after 10th WNBA loss. There has been endless chatter about Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark not making the Paris 2024 Olympic roster for Team USA. But what about another Fever player, Aaliyah Boston? Boston was the first pick in the 2023 WNBA draft and won the 2023 WNBA Rookie of the Year honor last season. Yet, when it came time for the final Olympic selections to be made, Boston didn't make the cut. In addition to speaking about not making Team USA, Boston made an attention-grabbing admission during her media availability session after the Fever's practice on Wednesday. When asked about what she's trying to improve upon with her pick-and-roll game with Clark, Boston said, yeah, I mean, it's just hard because it looks like a pick and pop. But it's because, especially when Caitlin has the ball, they're blitzing her a lot. So I'm making sure that I'm able to get in her pocket, and that I'm available for her, Boston continued. Let's see where the Boston being in Clark's pocket will benefit the Fever during their next game against the Atlanta Dream on Thursday, which that game was last night. So there, you have that from Aaliyah Boston. Now, there is some more news that I actually want to get to. Y'all know I am one of those ones, I listen to a lot of sports talk radio. And of course, y'all know that Tom Brady had his number retired. Nobody's going to wear number 12 again. That number is retired, done. But there was a young man that called into the JR Sports Brief show last night who said he went to the event, paid $25 to get into the event. All right, no big deal. You know, he's a season ticket holder, so he got him a little friendly discount. Being a ticket holder says you only have to pay $25 to get in. But his meal that he paid for was $33. And the price, what came in this $33 meal or snack, or because it was more like a snack, was a sausage, a soft pretzel. I don't even know if he got that with cheese dip. That might have been extra, and a bottle of water. So he paid $33 for a soft pretzel, don't know how big it was, a sausage, and he raved about how good that sausage was, and a bottle of water. Are you ready for this? The bottle of water was Dasani. Did I tell you that he paid $33 for this snack? In essence, he paid $11 for a bottle of Dasani water that I can go to Dollar Tree and get for $1.25. Right, I'm laughing at that because that was stupid. At best, he could have went to one of their convenience stores and got it for no more than $2 something. But you went to this Tom Brady event, and in essence, if your whole meal that you got, or your snack, whatever it was you got, was $33, that means you paid $11 for a bottle of water that I can get at Dollar Tree for $1.25 before tax. Think about that. Let that sink in. So I'm on X right now, and you know I was telling you about the showcase, and I think last year it was at Andover at the Farhar building. So I'm going to send a shout out to my neighbor Ebony Mays, who put this on X, because I'm trying to find out where this event is going to be at, so I can be there to support, show my neighbor some support, show my cousin some support that's going to be playing in this game. Like I said, it's going to be a hotbed of talent that weekend. Just find a court and go pull up a seat and watch. But I want to get into some more news here, because a lot has taken place. And no, I'm not trying to play catch up, because I would never get caught up. But there are some things taking place, because I want to bring you back up to speed on the Dallas Mavericks Boston Celtics, because Luka Doncic hits refs with stunning accusations after his Game 3 foul out. And if you watch Luka, he's not the most gifted defensive player. As a matter of fact, he's more of a defensive liability than he is a defensive asset. But with the game on the line and 5 fouls to his name, Dallas Mavericks star Luka Doncic, who isn't known for his defense, took a major risk on that side of the floor. When guarding Boston Celtics star Jaylen Brown and the Mavericks trailing by just 3 points with a little over 4 minutes remaining, Doncic attempted to stay in front of Brown and take a charge. Instead, he was called for a block, which Jason Kidd, of course, challenged with the hope that his star player wouldn't be ejected. After a very lengthy review, the call was confirmed to be a block, meaning that Doncic's night was over. The Mavericks were able to keep the game close down the stretch, but were never able to overtake Boston, losing by a score of 106 to 99. The loss leads to them falling down 3-0 in the series. Doncic's actions after the foul may make matters worse for himself. According to ESPN's Tim Bontemps, Doncic turned to referee Kevin Scott and flashed the infamous money sign, implying that the referee was being paid to make calls in favor of the Celtics. If the league catches wind of this act, which they likely will, we have already seen what the punishment is thanks to Minnesota's Rudy Gobert. When asked about it after the game, Doncic told reporters he didn't release they couldn't be physical. I mean, I don't know. We couldn't play physical, so I don't know. I don't want to say nothing, but 6 fouls in the NBA Finals? Come on, man. Better than that, said Doncic. As a matter of fact, if y'all want to know what it was, what the consequences of these actions was, the Defensive Player of the Year, which is Gobert, was fined $100,000 for making the same gesture at officials during Game 4 of the Wolves' second-round series against the Denver Nuggets. Doncic is known for frequently complaining to refs after calls, but this one will likely cost him. He and the Mavericks will now look to do the unthinkable and come back from down 3-0. The question is, and what do you think the odds are that his fine also will probably be $100,000? And maybe tack on a few more just for some of the times that he said some things that maybe he shouldn't have said while he was complaining to the officials. Doncic, just learn to play some defense and learn to keep your mouth shut and learn to watch your gestures because it's going to cost you. Seriously, it is going to cost you big time. They might decide to just stick it to you just for the simple fact they know you like to complain a lot to referees and figure this might be the only way you shut your mouth. As gifted of an athlete as he is, he's just that much of a defensive liability. I'm surprised he doesn't get tossed for more games, either from his lack of defensive intensity or for not controlling his emotions and jumping at the referees. What do you, who are listening, think that his fine will be? That remains to be seen. Anyway, we're going to take a look at some more news here. As we're going to take a look at, and this is a question, and I'm going to table this for the next segment. Is Colorado football's NIL reputation fool's gold? Is Colorado football's NIL reputation fool's gold? We're going to take a look at that story when we come back on the other side of this break here on In the Zone. This is yours truly, Anthony Smith. I'll be right back. Don't you go nowhere. Welcome back to In the Zone with yours truly, Anthony Smith, on a scorching hot Friday afternoon. Yes, it is scorching. It is hot. As a matter of fact, I don't know what the temperature is in hell. And I'm talking about Hell, Michigan. But I can guarantee you we just as hot as hell. Yes, it's hot. I'm trying to stay as cool as possible. I don't even want to go let the dog outside, because it means I have to let him back in. I don't even want to open the door that the dog go out. That's how hot it is. It's hot. We even had rain last night and it was still warm. Anyway, welcome back once again in the zone. And I know I said we was going to talk about this NIL stuff and this Colorado being fool's gold, so to speak. But I want to play something because I referenced the Tom Brady jersey retirement. And he delivered one heck of a speech. And I want to play that for you.
I would encourage everyone to play football for the simple reason that it is hard. It's hard when you're young to wake up in the off season at 6 a.m. to go train and work out, knowing that all your friends are sleeping in and eating pancakes. It's hard when you're on your way to practice, weighed down with all your gear, and it's 90 degrees out and all the other kids are at the pool or at the beach, and your body is already completely exhausted from workouts in 2 days. It's hard to throw, catch, block, and tackle, and hit kids when they're way bigger and way more developed than you, only to go home that night bruised and battered and strained, but knowing you have to show up again the next day for just the chance to try again. But understand this, life is hard. No matter who you are, there are bumps and hits and bruises along the way. And my advice is to prepare yourself, because football lessons teach us that success and achievement come from overcoming adversity, and that team accomplishment far exceeds anyone's individual goals. To be successful at anything, the truth is you don't have to be special. You just have to be what most people aren't. Consistent, determined, and willing to work for it. No shortcuts. If you look at all my teammates here tonight, it would be impossible to find better examples of men who embody that work ethic, integrity, purpose, determination, and discipline that it takes to be a champion in life.
So that was the Tom Brady speech that was given as they retired the number 12. You know what? The Indianapolis Colts will retire number 18. Because for the longest, all we knew was the battle of 1812. Brady versus Manning. Brady, Manning. Battle of epic proportions. Tom, thank you for that speech. That might have been one of the greatest speeches we've heard in Lord knows how long. And then the reception that Randy Moss got when he gave his speech at the retirement jersey retirement of Tom Brady. Unfortunately, I don't have it up for me right now, but maybe on a later show, I will probably have it up. But I want to get back into this NIL deal because that's all you hear about nowadays is NIL, NIL, NIL collectives. Now universities can pay their players. I mean, it's amazing what has happened. But in particular, is Colorado football's NIL reputation fool's gold? And then there's another story I'm going to look at too before I close things out because basketball season will be here before you know it. I know. It's not even October yet. It's the dog days. We haven't even hit the dog days of summer. We're talking about basketball. Well, TBT is coming up, but with the transfer portal the way it is, Wichita State did ink another signature, so we're going to get to that as well too. I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. But does Colorado's NIL reputation outweigh its ability to pay players? Which states allow NIL at high school level? Interesting, huh? How is Arkansas's NIL? I still have a problem with that. I'm from the state of Kansas, so you know how I feel about seeing that. But how is Arkansas's NIL collective getting mega creative for fundraising? These are questions and more being answered. And you're going to hear it right here on In the Zone, mainly in conjunction to Colorado. Can Colorado keep up with rev share, which is revenue sharing? Last year, Colorado's football team became the poster child of NIL, thanks to its flashy trio of Shedeur Sanders, Shiloh Sanders, and Travis Hunter, all top valued players. Now, however, there's a legitimate concern the Buffaloes may not be able to afford to pay players competitively within the revenue sharing model. It's important to know why Colorado seemed so successful in NIL last year. The school's brand was tied up almost entirely in their head coach, Deion Sanders. His own sons, as well as his hand-picked prodigy, cornerback, were able to secure NIL deals with brands. But the school's collective continued to flounder, meaning very few Buffs players actually got paid. So now, with revenue sharing model in place, the school will be paying players directly. That system will value stability across the team instead of resources being concentrated between 3 players. So now we're going to look at this. And it's basically this. Can the CU Buffs and the CSU Rams afford to pay athletes in the House NCAA settlement? It's a jumbled mess. The Buffs will have to start sharing revenue with student athletes. CSU will have to do the same if it wants to keep up. And what of mines? UNC, University of Northern Colorado. Chuck Nunez was held 4 decades ago for letting the beast out the box. How was he to no darn thing would eventually start eating its own at home? It been okay. And we are having a glitch, so we cannot get you this story like I want to. Anyway, I'm just going to pose this question. Do you think Colorado and Colorado State will be able to keep up with this revenue sharing? And hopefully I can get some more scoop on that. But what I am going to do, since I have this before me, Wichita State basketball adds Shawnee Mission East product Zane Meeks via the NCAA transfer portal. And me personally, I actually, after reading up on him and looking at what he has done in previous stops, I think this is a good pickup. With only one player on the roster taller than 6'6", Wichita State men's basketball coach Paul Mills knew he needed to add some size for the upcoming season. The Shockers landed their target on Sunday when Zane Meeks, a sixth-year senior who is 6'9" and 220 pounds, committed to WSU. The Kansas City native took an official visit to WSU on May 17 and committed 3 weeks later. Mills has turned to the transfer portal to try to upgrade WSU's roster. Meeks joins Georgia point guard Justin Hill, St. Peter's forward Corey Washington, who was also instrumental in them knocking off Kentucky, who was also an instrumental part of their team last year as one of their leading scorers and one of the leaders on the team. So that's a good pickup right there. And Lipscomb sharpshooter A.J. Washington. McGinnis, Lipscomb sharpshooter A.J. McGinnis as newcomers looking to make an immediate impact for the Shockers. The former Shawnee Mission East star provides much-needed versatility to the front court for WSU. He averaged 10.9 points and 5.1 rebounds during the 2022-23 season for San Francisco. He was on that team that actually played against Wichita State, making a career-best 60% of his two-pointers while remaining a threat from the outside. In fact, Meeks has made 132 career three-pointers on 34.4% accuracy. That means not only, and this is the part I like right here, not only will Meeks be able to back up Quincy Ballard at center, but he will also be capable of playing alongside him and space the floor at the powered forward position. Get that part right there. Playing alongside. I shared that in the chat group. I shared that with a friend of mine, but he wanted to go back and forth with me when they were pursuing another 7-footer. I said, as long as he could play alongside as well as back, and he took that as me saying, take Quincy Ballard's spot. No, they're not looking for no one to take Quincy Ballard's spot. But if you get a complimentary player, such as this young man right here, based on what I'm reading about him, yes, this is a good pickup. Because he doesn't just have to come off the bench. There may be situations where he's starting right alongside. They tried that last year with Kenny Poto, but Kenny Poto fizzled out. I ain't afraid to say it. Yeah, he fizzled out. Plum fizzled out. He went to thinking he was a shooting guard, and he couldn't shoot from the outside. There was a few times he tried to flex, but Kenny could have helped dominate the paint. There is no reason between a 7-footer and a 6'10" guy that those two right there should not be the glass cleaners. God made you 6'10", 6'11" for a reason. Play on the inside, dominate. Quincy already has it down. Kenny Poto, somewhere along the way, I think he lost it. I'm just being honest. And I know that this will be played and it will be heard, and some people will disagree with me, but I'll stick by what I say. Anyway, Meeks played 2 years at Nevada, where he averaged 9 points, 5.9 rebounds in the 2020-21 season. Then 2 more years at San Francisco. He made 6 of 13 three-pointers in his first 5 games last season at Arizona. But an ankle injury shut down his season. He has since recovered from the injury and is fully healthy entering summer workouts. The addition of Meeks gives WSU a total of 13 scholarship players, the maximum allowed by the NCAA. But sources told the Eagle that WSU is in the process of adding another big man to the roster. It's unclear who would not be on scholarship for the 2024-25 season, but it is possible for players to earn NIL money to help offset walk-on status. And look at that. I'm also aware of the fact that Wichita State has also offered another young man who's he's in the class of 2025. Why don't you stretch that out and look even further down the road? I can guarantee you at this I-35 showcase that's coming up, there are going to be so many underclassmen. And when I say underclassmen, I'm talking sophomore, juniors. Yeah, they're just that good where they're getting the attention of college coaches, that coaches are already starting to offer them. I'll give you a case in point. On the girls' side, Blue Valley North stand out. I do believe that's right. The Junior Blues, whatever their name is. Maddie Vickery, who was just a freshman last year, but she's already lighting it up on the circuit. She's already been given an offer by Oklahoma State women's basketball. So, those of you who are listening to me on this, I know you're looking at the upcoming season, but now you have to start preparing for way beyond the season. I'm going to give you some names that Wichita State should be looking at right now, ahead of time. Matter of fact, this one young man, he's coming out of Shawnee Mission Northwest. He'll be a senior next year. Keaton Wagler. He's a guard, wing type player. No, he's a 6'3" guard, I do believe. He's playing for a team that will most likely repeat as state champion because they have everybody coming back except, I believe, a senior that was on the bench. They hold starting five, including 7-footer Ethan Taylor. You cannot let that one fly under the radar. He need to be on your radar yesterday. Trust me, here I am, a podcast guy in Wichita, Kansas. If I know about these guys, trust me, everybody else that's somebody in basketball knows about these guys. Wichita State, I'm putting a plea out to you. Yes, I've seen the clips of the guy you gave an offer to. He's 6'10", but you need to start working ahead, looking ahead. You did a good job picking up Zion Pipkin. You did a good job picking up TJ Williams. But the work doesn't stop there. And if you got that talent in your backyard, when I say backyard, in your state, you need to pursue it. We need to be in such hot pursuit that these players feel so bad that, hey, I don't think I can leave the state. You need to let them know, we want you. We think you'd be a great fit. Personally, I think they'd be a great fit. Let me tell you how this Shawnee Mission Northwest team was. Coach Joe Auer at Wichita Heights said like this. He said, in all my years of coaching, 29 years of coaching, he's been coaching 29 years. Just coached Kansas Gatorade Player of the Year in TJ Williams. He said he's never seen such length like that Shawnee Mission Northwest possessed. If Coach Joe Auer is saying that, there needs to be someone on the recruiting staff checking these games out. Do not let, I already know you're not going to get all the homegrown talent, but you need to make a case to try to get all the homegrown talent that you can get. That's been a knock on Wichita State. I'm not going to lie. I ain't going to sugarcoat nothing. And I know some people are going to listen to this in the chat room, but they'll probably be glad, hey, I'm glad you brought that up. One of the knocks on Wichita State is it seems like we don't pursue the homegrown talent enough. That is coming from some of the players within the state. But I hope by them looking at and picking up a TJ Williams, I'll even throw this name out. Malachi Wilkins out of Wichita Heights. Wichita State, I hope you got him on your radar. He'll be coming out next year. Anyway, with that being said, I hope you have enjoyed this rendition. I know there's probably been some lull moments, some dead air moments on this podcast, but I hope within especially with this last segment, I hope it kind of got you fired up. Wichita State fans, I hope you will embrace this Meeks kid. Let me pull that back up because I think he's going to be a good pickup at 6'9". Zane Meeks. I'm pretty sure he's going to be a good pickup. I believe he's going to create some spacing problems for the other team. Like I said, to be able to play alongside, and then the backup part is when Quincy Ballard goes out for a breather, then you slide him into the 5 spot. And then at best, you probably still run a 3 guard, 1 center, 1 forward lineup. You could probably do 5 in, 4 out. When I say 4 out, that basically means, depending on the foul situation, Meeks could go into the 5 position, and you can surround him basically with 4 guards or 3 guards and a forward. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. I believe this team is going to have a whole lot of depth. And what I'm going to put this out like this. What I'm about to say now, it's not up for argument. It's my opinion, and right now it's the only thing that counts. I think I made a valid point, and I'm pretty sure those who listen to this will agree with this, especially in the Shocker fan page. Look, when I say things, it's not to dispute what you are saying. Let me make that perfectly clear. I don't go behind people saying, yeah, but. No, I'll let you know I don't disagree with you. So if I don't disagree with you, there shouldn't be any resistance in what I say. And like I say, I believe this kid here is a good pickup, and he's going to create some matchup problems for other teams. And I know Paul Mills, based on what I've seen, how he has run his teams, even at Oral Roberts, he's not a traditionalist. He is not a traditional. No, there's nothing traditional about what Paul Mills runs. If he wants to run a 3-guard lineup, trust me, if Meeks and Ballard are not on the court at the same time, trust me, you'll probably see Meeks at the 5 position. And I wouldn't be surprised by the depth on this team if he has a substitute pattern. And I'm going to say it like this. And some of y'all are going to say, well, there's a difference between high school and college. Yes, there is a difference between high school and college. But there's not a difference in the game of basketball. I've seen this done. Coach Brian Chadwick down at Derby High School. He coaches the girls' basketball team. As a matter of fact, he says stop separating it. He says stop calling it girls or boys. It's all basketball. And at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's basketball. He does a 5 in and 5 out substitution pattern. And he said like this. He said he had to get them to buy in. First of all, the best way to get on the court is play defense. And if you've never seen a team play defense, go check out Derby because they play it at a high level. But the starting 5, they had to be able to trust the second 5. And then even when they went down farther in the bench, they're playing defenses relentlessly. And I could see Coach Mills doing the same identical thing because I believe that this team is going to have far more depth on this year's team than they did last year. So I look for them to have an upper finish in the AAC. I also look for them to, at best, in the words of Nolan Richardson, 40 minutes of hell. Because I believe they can sub in and sub out like that on a regularity and not miss a beat. I mean, you got some veterans coming back. You got an influx of newcomers coming in who I think will be able to contribute at a high level. You got those kids that have come in from the portal. This team has a lot of possibilities. So I think I've covered pretty much everything on Wichita State. This good acquisition of Zane Meeks coming in and how he could be a difference maker. So I'm looking forward to seeing this season coming up. But until the next time I'm in the zone, get out and enjoy the weekend. The Wichita Open is taking place. That's golf. If you can stand the heat, go out and enjoy it. Where you may see the stars of tomorrow out on the greens this weekend at the Wichita Open at the Crestview Country Club here in Wichita, Kansas. Tell my buddies from KFH, if you see that booth out there, tell them their very own Anthony said hello. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other. God bless. It's been nice being back here in the zone.